Apparently, there are over 13.5 million displaced Syrians over the world that are existing now in foreign countries. Now, I've always found this sus because they stage a lot of propaganda regarding these so called refugees, and the numbers simply don't add up. Now, you would have heard about this so called capital called Damascus. Now, when the Bible is linked in to places that currently exist in the world, there's usually a bit of fraud behind it. And if you search YouTube, you will find out all this Armageddon propaganda that it was so called prophecy that Damascus was going to be destroyed. Now, you might have seen Aaron's video on does Gaza exist when he exposes Gaza as just a fictitious CGI reality and paintball type arena that's not even a real area. And if you go looking for footage of this so called Damascus, on one of the videos, it's just Tel Aviv in Israel. Okay, the photos that they are showing people, and it's a fact that this Hollywood basement production called ISIS don't exist. So this group isn't holding up areas in Syria. Now, a lot of the so-called footage uh, after the war, you can tell a lot of it's CGI and a lot of it's just completely fake. All right, these reporters that are going around interviewing these poor kids on the street that are suffering and they're living in Syria, and this whole entire uh, area is just contrived. Okay, these so-called suffering children are nothing more than actors. So you have to raise the question: was Syria, um, was it even legitimate in the first place, or is the whole entire area just invented to stage propaganda? Yes, you might meet so-called uh, Syrians, for example, but are they Syrians, or are they just people that are like being sent into around countries around the West, and they're just pretending to be Syrian, simply just paid off crisis actors to justify the lie. Now, it would be completely plausible because a lot of this Syrian stuff doesn't really make any sense, and there's you have to see, like, if the Gaza footage, right, that Aaron was showing you is CGI, which he proved in a video that's only got like 150 views, you will see that Gaza is CGI and there's no such area as Gaza. There never was. So if the Damascus footage is also CGI, who's to say that Damascus was also a real area, and who knows where some of this so-called Damascus footage really is and what it is. Some of the stuff, the so-called scenes in Damascus, is just images of places in Israel. Okay, and it could be from just contrived and combined images of uh, places throughout the Middle East, or just a random constructed area that they have just set up out of public eye. And they've got a few cafes and just like a shopping alley and whatnot. It's just been constructed and just built, which wouldn't take very long to do this. Okay, just to build like this movie set type of place and get these so-called vlogging tourists to go in there and make out like they are in Damascus. Okay, you want to pull off this huge wall lie, it would be completely plausible for them just to go and spend like a month just building this so-called themed area slash Disneyland for propaganda. So if you look into it, it might make a lot of sense, and you will start to see a lot of this fakery for what it is, because it's a fact that Gaza isn't real. And there's a lot of these Palestinian shills and fake activists sweeping social media. They just keep adding, well, they used to keep adding me on Facebook, hundreds and hundreds of them, and begging for money. And they were just money racketing actors trying to pass off the Gaza lie. So if the Palestinian activist slash mythical people shields exist, it's plausible that the so-called Syrian uh, YouTubers exist with the Syrian flag as their avatar. You will see them on the videos, and it's the same with the Palestinian. Okay, the Palestinian shills. It's plausible to think that the Syrian internet trolls just exist on the internet, and the people in the Damascus footage, when people ask comments, I wonder what happened to all these people, and there's only like images of probably at most 200 people. Not There's no evidence of 13.5 million Syrians in this footage, okay? Nor is there evidence of them existing anywhere in reality. There's only seems to be a handful. There's They use these so-called Syrian refugees in fake false flag attacks throughout Germany. Now, I'm not setting it in stone, but I'd just like to point out how extremely suspect this whole entire project is appearing to be.